Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking onto my video today. Today's video is a bit different in that I want to share a heart-to-heart video with you guys. As mentioned in my previous videos, I'm still going through some mental, I wouldn't say issues or mental illnesses, but I'm going through mental problems, and you know, there are struggles that I do face. And when I initially started my YouTube channel, I didn't want it to only focus on beauty. I also wanted to kind of build a support system for people to come together and, you know, to talk about things, not only beauty focused, but just life in general. So I thought, what better way to start it off with my story first, and you know, how things came about and how I am the way I am, like what things brought about my personality today. And you know, it's very, very hard to share, and I've only started to kind of grasp of what kind of things made me the person I am. It's kind of, I went to the counselor and I told her my background story, like my childhood, and then she kind of put things into perspective of like a cause and effect. So right now I'm telling you guys like my story, and I guess the best way to start it is, you know, break my life into different chunks, into different stages, and kind of tell you things that I went through in these stages. Sorry I'm being so rambly. That's one of the things I'll touch on as well. But we'll start when I was first born. I don't know how I remember these things, but you know, parents tell you things. When I was first initially born, you know, my mum and my dad was together, and they were together for about a year until my dad left to Australia to kind of start a home, like start building a home for us here in Australia. And at that time, from the age of 1 onwards, I was just living with my mum and my grandma from my dad's side. And I know during that time period is extremely hard for my mum, because it's practically like my mum is a single mum. She had to go work full-time. She has to, you know, feed me, and during the day when I was too young, like my grandma will come over and look after me during the day. And also her job is very hard in that she was accounting back in China back in the days, and also she was quite high level up. So I know that she's very, very stressed, and up until today I still admire her for the things that she went through and how she handled things. But knowing that she was so kind of under so much pressure before, and there was kind of no support system for her, because you know, she's a single mom, and back in China I don't think many women went through that kind of thing. I would say sometimes she would have taken her stress out on me. Right now I don't blame her. I don't blame anyone in this kind of, in my story today, for the things that they've done, because there are reasons behind them too. But you know, I was talking about to my counselor about my childhood, how, you know, sometimes I'll, you know how kids, you can't really control your dexterity is not that well. Like sometimes I'll, you know, flip my hand and then the cup of milk will fall onto the floor, and then like the glass will break and things like that, and then she'll just go off at me, and then she'll, as Asian parents, she'll slap me and hit me and things like that. And that's the kind of things I remember from my childhood back in China. I don't remember that much things back in China. That's why I don't have like a strong bond to my heritage back in China, because I don't remember anything. And also another thing is, when I was young, basically in China, I was in preschool and also year 1, year 2, I didn't make that much friends. Like when I was that young, I didn't feel the need to make friends. If you watch like these preschool videos, like I had a preschool video made for me when I was finishing up preschool in China, and I was just there playing with myself. Basically there was a makeshift like a kitchen that was, you know, and then I was just playing with myself. I don't need friends and things like that, and I was just happy like that. Like I never felt the need to make friends. You guys might find it weird, but that's just how I was. I didn't think there was anything wrong. And also when I was that young, because I didn't have any friends, because I was so kind of quiet and timid in preschool, I kind of got bullied by this boy. Like, this boy was the same age as me, and at one time he kind of, I don't know what he did, I think he kind of scratched my face, and it left a scar on this side or this side of the face. I think it's this side where it's the mole. And then my grandma just went off like at him. My grandma went to the school, and basically I think my grandma was really close to, like, you know, teaching the boy like a good lesson. But yeah, so as a child I wasn't that bubbly, I wasn't that happy. I didn't feel the need to make friends with people because I felt good in my own little bubble, and that's how I kind of feel now. I feel good in my own little bubble, and that's kind of one struggle that I still face now. I'm not good at like keeping friends. That's one thing that I want to talk about as well. And so from the age of, you know, 0 to 8 I was in China, and then after the age of 8 I came to Australia to live with my dad. And then at first when I saw my dad, I didn't really kind of recognize him, like, you know, because I never lived with him for a prolonged period of time back in China. It's just he'll come visit for like a month or so, and then he'll come to Australia again. And then so when I first came here, I saw him, he was just like a total stranger to me because I don't know who this man is. And basically I remember vividly the first time I saw him, I was just like, you know, hiding behind my mom's back because I don't know who this man, why is my mom trying to push him towards him, like I don't know who he is. And then from there my dad tried to build a relationship with me, in that he'll buy me Barbie dolls and he'll buy me toys to kind of, you know, first of all make me happy and kind of build a relationship with me. But I guess if you've been away from someone for such a long period of time, it's still hard, it's still different. And so and also my parents, they love kids, so they had my sister. So they had my sister when they initially came to Australia, and also so when I was about the age of 9, so pretty fast after they came to Australia. And my sister was born when I was 9, and then there wasn't that much relationship building after that with my dad, because it was, you know, all onto my sister, and so is my mom, like all the attention is on my sister. And then also my attention was onto my sister too, because I kind of lost a bit of my childhood in babysitting my sister. It's kind of weird in that, you know, you guys might sound odd that, you know, an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old kid has to babysit a sibling, but you know, that's the kind of culture that my parents went through. My dad has 4 siblings, and that's what they did. You know, the older one will look after the younger one, and you know, the second will look after the third, and the cycle goes from there. And that kind of, they kind of enforced me to do that kind of things too to my sister. And the things I have to do is, like, you know, I have to bathe my sister, I have to change her nappies, I have to feed my sister too, you know, I have to play with her and things like that. She is very cute, but you know, it's still a baby, and for a 9-year-old it can be sometimes a little much. But yeah, I don't resent my sister. There are people that told me, sorry, I'm just, you know, making myself comfortable. There are people that told me when my sister was first born, or just before she was born, I kind of was envious. I didn't want her to be born. I mean, I might be like that. I might have said some things like, I don't want a sister because I want, like, you know, my parents to love me. I don't want things to change. But right now I don't resent her. I don't think after she was born I ever felt this way, because, you know, I love my sister. Like, and I'm not sure if you guys know, but usually the first kid, especially in my parents' example and for my family, you know, the first kid for myself is definitely like a big experiment, and in that they've done a lot of things right for my sister. And then so, you know, the first few years of us being in Australia is just focused on my sister. And also when I first came to Australia, there was definitely like a culture clash. People say, you know, you can learn a language very quickly when you come here when you're young. True, I learned the language very quickly, but at the same time there was a huge culture clash, in that even as a kid I felt it distinctly. There was one incident when I was in class. I came here and I was straight away in year 3. where I was a kid, I didn't know, and also back in China I didn't have these kind of things told to me because first of all, as I said, I didn't have friends, I didn't have people that tell me, you know, this is wrong. So back in year 3, one day, I kind of farted in class. And it wasn't like a loud, flamboyant fart, it was just like, you know, a baby fart. And then all of a sudden, everyone kind of looked at me like I was this alien and of the situation I did, and I just felt, what the hell did I do wrong? You know, this is a natural thing. What did I do wrong? And that kind of started this culture clash and things like that. And when I first came to Australia, to be honest, when I first started school, I didn't make that much friends too. And I can remember I was in Harcourt Public School back in Campsie, and I didn't have that much friends. And to be honest, I didn't feel bad too. I didn't feel unhappy because I didn't have friends and things like that. But you know, as I got to about year 5, year 6, I had some friends, and you know, we had fun. I'll go to their home and kind of play with them, like visit their family and things like that. My friends hardly came to my home because my parents didn't really like it, I guess. But yeah, I'll go to their home, have play, or play in school and things like that. And yeah, but at the end, I'm looking really crappy now because at the very end, I kind of found out why they were friends with me, and it's because I was best friends with this other girl that just came from China as well. So we had, first of all, like a communication thing going on. We can talk to each other in Chinese and things like that. And then this group of people were friends with me because I was best friends with this girl. Because they like this girl, that's why they have to be friends with me, because I'm best friends with her. That's kind of sad, but you know, they told me, and you know, I can't really help it. That's kids back then, and you know, kids can sometimes be very good, but can be very hurtful too. I mean, they were honest. That's the only good thing I can see there. Yeah, so coming out of primary school, I went to a few high schools. That's another thing. I changed a lot of schools. For primary school, I changed 2 schools. For high school, I changed 3 schools. One thing that's not good for kids is changing different schools, because you kind of break their friendship, you force them to make new ones in other schools and things like that. We won't go into that. But yeah, for high school, I went to 3 different schools. Most of them are Catholic girls' schools. And as you guys know, Catholic girls' schools are private schools. You have to pay for them, and basically family that goes to these schools are mostly like kind of well off, and I'll definitely say my family is not well off. And yeah, when I first initially went to high school, it was hard as well, because all the girls, like, they all like dressed fancy, they all had like good things, and the things back then were like, you know, mobile phones. There's Sony Ericsson, there's Nokia mobile phones that all the girls will use, you know, to call their boyfriends and things like that. And you know, I didn't have any, and I kind of didn't feel like I didn't quite fit in because I didn't have these things. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I don't have the money to buy all those things. So who can I hang around with that is on the same level as me? I gradually found friends in my first high school, that was Bethlehem College back in Ashfield. I found a few friends and they were really good. My light just went off. I'm so sorry guys, I don't know why that one went off. On. Okay. Sorry, there's so many distractions. But yeah, back in Bethlehem College, we had a group of friends that, you know, I became really, really close to. We had a great time. We'll go out shopping. We'll go out, like, I remember very distinctly, like, I'll ride the train back home at the afternoon, because my friends will all ride the same train, even though that train took me like an extra half an hour or 40 minutes. But we'll take the train and then we'll run to the very back of the carriage and kind of like, you know, make our row and have our fun and things like that. And it was really fun and it was really happy. Like in high school, when I was at school, that was like my happy time because I was kind of away from my family. So when I was in high school, back at home, back in my family, you know, we had my sister, and my parents wasn't in a good place, I would say. My parents, I guess, when you're away for so long and you come together again, they had a lot of molding because my dad kind of changed from the hardships that he went through in Australia, and my mum kind of didn't really understand and didn't know how to adapt to that. And also at that time my mum was a stay-at-home mum, so coming from a career lady to a stay-at-home mum, it might be a very, very big change for her too. So when I come back home, my parents will most likely have a huge fight once a week. That's like a minimum, and that's a big fight, I would say. Like sometimes things will be thrown. Of course, there are like verbal things get thrown around, and during that time I'll just be really, really scared. I hate those kind of situations. Even until today, I hate arguments. Like, you guys might find it weird, but me and James don't argue verbally. Like, we will give each other like silent treatments, but we don't argue like verbally like that. It's very, very less that we do verbal arguments like that. But it was because my parents, they had the worst arguments. And even if they argue today, like if I go to their home and if they start an argument, like the arguments now are not bad. I would say not even like, the arguments now are very, very cute, but the arguments back then are horrible. But even today when I look at them and they have these cute arguments and things like that, I'll just like, you know, I'll tell them to stop. I'm like, there's no purpose in this. I feel really uncomfortable. Can you guys just effing stop? Yeah, so that kind of affected me back then as a child. That was high school. What else happened? I'm sorry I'm so blabbery. I had everything so clear cut in my head before, but now it's just, I have to think. Yes, so back in high school I was saying that, you know, all the other girls were all like fancy la-di-da, have their money and have things and boyfriends and things like that. That's where the bullying kind of started when I was in Bethlehem College. Like, the girls saw me as, you know, one of those povo kids, and you know, they would bully me. Like, there was one group of Asian kids in that school in our year that was really kind of pretty, really wealthy. They had all the things, all the boys wanted them, and I guess one way of them being the way that they are, they'll bully other girls. So I was one of the girls that they bullied, and you know, they'll tell me things like, oh, you have stinky breath, you have to do something about it, and they'll give me like really shady looks. And also back then, I'm not sure, but I wanted to be one of the popular girls. Like, I tried so hard to be in their group, but they just didn't like me. They think I'm second class. They made fun of me. Yeah, and from those incidences on, I don't like going to classes, because in class they'll literally bully me in class. I don't like going to classes. I start wagging classes. I start wagging school as well. We call it wagging back then. Also the other word is jigging. So sometimes I'll just jig school, and that was year 8, year 9. So it's pretty early on. And then one of my teachers found out I was kind of jigging, and he got really disappointed. He got really upset, and yeah, I felt bad for him too, because he was a really, really good teacher, but I just couldn't go to class because, you know, of these people saying mean things. And also back at home, I didn't talk about it with my parents because they weren't interested. I guess one of the things I forgot to mention of my primary school days was, you know, when I initially started learning English, I wanted to speak to it to my parents, or to my dad at least, because he understood a bit, and I want to speak to it to kind of, I want to speak to him to kind of, first of all, like, kids want to show off, and kids want to, you know, have some kind of communication level with their parents, with their family. But when I start speaking to them, they will just cut me off, basically. There was a time when I wanted to tell my dad this really silly joke. Like, I'm thinking back to it now, it's probably why the chicken crossed the road. But he didn't want any of that. He's just like, you know, adults are on the table, kids are not supposed to speak. That's a very Asian family stereotype, but yeah, that's kind of what I went through. So after that incident of my parents, I didn't talk to them much about anything, basically. And so back at home, I can't tell them about my school bullying. And then when they found out about my jigging and everything, like not going to school, they kind of questioned why. They think I'm a rebellion kid, and they tried to again, you know, kind of, you know, ask me. I got in trouble at home because they found out and things like that. I still don't want to go to school because of all the bullying that happened. And then thankfully after that, up until like year 9, I changed schools to Crestwood here in Kellyville, and that was good. I had a strong bond of friends here, and we kind of stuck up for each other. I really enjoyed school here, and there was a lot of I would say Western kids in this area, so there wasn't that much Asian kids. So when I found, you know, those few friends that was Asian, we really stuck close to each other. We really had fun. It was a really good experience. But after Crestwood, I kind of went through a really bad breakup, in that I just felt I need to change everything. That might be my problem, but that's what I felt. I want to change everything. I want to change schools. I want to change this. I want to change that. So again, from year 9 onwards, no, year 10. So I went to different school for year 11, year 12. I went to another girls' school in Parramatta, OLMC, and that's where I found one of my best friends, Lulu. We had a really like close bond. Even until today, we're very, very close. Like, we don't talk to each other that often because, you know, she has a really busy life. I have a really busy life. She's extremely career driven, and I admire her for that. But we always had a really strong bond. And in OLMC, it was a good time to, that's where I found James. And that's when I kind of, my life started going uphill. That's when I say my life started going uphill. But yeah, so up until now, I'll say now when I'm in my 20s, nearly in my 30s, I feel this is like the most comfortable stage in my life because of what I went through. I'm not sure if I explained myself thoroughly to you guys. Because of all the bullying, because of all the non-communication of my parents, it caused me to have a lot of internal, like, first of all, I was saying childhood trauma. So whenever I felt that I'm going to be like in trouble, I shut down. That's one of the things that people around me hate. Like, whenever I feel criticism, or whenever I feel I'm gonna get in trouble, I shut down. And then also another thing is my constant depression. It's just one thing that my parents told me when I was young is that if we come in conflict with someone, or if there is some kind of issue with other people, always find what you did wrong as well. Always find what you did wrong. But I'm not telling you that is the right strategy, because that is extremely wrong, and that backfired on me so bad. First of all, in any situation right now as adults, or even as a teenager or a child, even if you guys are watching as a child right now, nothing's clear cut as right or wrong. It's no mathematical question. Nothing's clear cut or as right or wrong. Don't blame yourself for everything that you're going through, for other people's unhappiness, for other people's anger, for other people's sadness. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. One thing that the counselor also told me is, other people's happiness. Other people is the owner of their own happiness. You're not the owner. So one thing that really resonated in me is that before I was thinking, you know, I have to do things to make other people happy. You know, I have to do things to make other people feel good. But that's not the case. Everyone is the owner of their own happiness. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. You know, they could feel a million feelings. They could feel pissed. They could feel sad. They could feel, you know, offended by what you say. They could feel, you know, shitty about what you do. Even if your motivation is right, it doesn't affect other people's happiness. So nothing. It's not like, I can't stress this enough. Like, you can't do things to impress other people constantly. You can't do things to impress everyone. That's impossible. Do things that make yourself happy, because you're the owner of your own happiness, and don't rely on other people on making you happy as well. I'm getting sniffly, sorry. Yes, so that's what I want to kind of say, because I guess for a very large portion of my life I was trying so hard to impress other people, trying so hard to make other people happy, but that's just not who I am. I mean, I'm not saying I want to make other people feel sad, I want to make other people feel shitty. I mean, it's just not who I am in following other people's rules, you know? And it's sad to think that I'm 28 this year and I'm only starting to kind of live my life the way I want it. So sorry. Close the door. Holy shit, I'm such an ugly crier. I feel bad for people that has to go through my crying, because I think James goes through it the most. But I'm not a pleasant crier. In any case, so yeah, that's kind of my story, and that's why I'm constantly still battling my internal troubles. I still can't grasp the idea of, I'm still grasping, I guess, is happiness. Everyone is the owner of their own happiness. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. You can't make your life, you can't make the goal of your life to make other people happy, because the goal of your life has to make yourself happy. And also another thing that I want to point out to you guys that's extremely important is communication. You have to communicate everything. Like, you have to communicate your feelings. You have to communicate what you're going through. That's one of the things that I extremely lack, is communication. I don't know how to effectively communicate to other people, and that's the one thing that I want to talk to you guys about in the beginning of this video as well. Is you guys might have realized that I have difficulties talking. I have difficulties like communicating my sentences in one good flow. Is because I feel that I just didn't talk that much when I was little, when I was growing up, because I didn't have the environment. I didn't have the environment to. Gosh, what was that accent? Environment. Yeah, I didn't have that, and that's, I guess, the most important thing is, if you guys are going through any hardship or any kind of internal battles right now, is effectively communicating them to those that care about you and those who love you and those who you live around now that that loves you, is effectively communicating them your feelings and how you guys can reach a resolution together. Because don't wait. Honestly, waiting is the worst thing. I think I waited too long. I waited up until now to realize all these things, all these problems that I have. Don't wait. When you start seeing the problem, you need to communicate it. This is a very long-winded video. I hope you guys are not you guys might feel boring already, but I hope this is able to help you guys in that you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. I'm also here. I'm also here with you. Even if we're not going through the same things, we can relate on an emotional level. Yeah, so that's where I am now. I'm happily married, 28 years old, just started to figure out my internal troubles, and yeah, I hope this video is able to help you guys. As I said before, if you guys want to talk to me about anything, my email is down below, and I know I'm not that great at replying your comments and things like that. One thing I said before, I'm not great at maintaining friends. Really sorry, but if you guys write me an email, I'll definitely read it and I'll definitely reply back to you guys, because it's a smaller channel if you write me an email. There's so much in my brain that I want to say, but I feel it's just going to flood you guys with emotions. It's going to flood me with emotions too, so I'll probably stop there. And if you guys want more of these videos, like if you want me to go in more details in whatever stage of my life, please comment down below, because you guys might find it interesting. Everyone's not perfect. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. Everyone has imperfections, and that's the imperfections kind of make us who we are, and those events kind of made me who I am today. I'm not saying I don't have good things. I have a lot of good attributes. It's just that a lot of the times, I wouldn't say sometimes, I'll say a lot of the times, due to those circumstances, I doubt myself. Yeah, I'll end it there. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope this video didn't make you guys down. I don't want this video to make you guys upset and feel sorry for me and pity me, because first of all, if you feel pity for me, I'll just feel more bad. Feel happy for me. Give me encouragement. You know, I wouldn't pat myself on the back saying that I did good going through all these things in my life and, you know, coming through it alive, because I'm pretty sure you guys might have guessed it. Back then, when it was really dark, I did have suicidal thoughts. I didn't want to end my life, but you know, I'm here today. I'm here alive. I'm happy. And yeah, so don't feel bad for me, guys. Encourage me, support each other, most importantly. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys are going through the same things too. Pat yourself on the back that you've made it so far, that you've done so well with all the situations that you had to overcome, and just be proud of who you are, because it's all those different circumstances, all those different issues, all those different bad events that made you who you are today, that made you stronger, and that made you who you are and able to conquer this world. Because that's the most important thing, is putting your foot forward one day at a time and just going through these different battles. Because, you know, at the end of your life, you kind of look back and go, what have I gone through? Like, what have I done in my life that made myself proud? And is these different circumstances and these different events and how you dealt with it and how you lived through it and how you came out standing tall is what made you guys proud. So I do not want this video in any way to be kind of a downer. I want this video to be an encouragement for you guys, to sitting here telling you guys that you guys are doing so well in your life, in what kind of circumstances that you're going through. You're doing so well. I'm just so, you know, feel happy for you guys, feel so proud for you guys. And if you guys are going through a shitty day, I want you to know that you're awesome, you're beautiful, and you're perfect no matter what other people say, no matter what situations get thrown at you. You're beautiful. You can stand up and you can deal with everything in your life. And do it in your own way. Don't do it to make other people happy. Do it to make yourself proud, to make yourself happy, because at the end of the day, you are who you have to face, not other people. So yes, I hope to end this video on a positive note. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas, because I look forward to Christmas. I actually have purchased a few things like from the Christmas collections, like this little one. If you guys want to see like all of my Christmas kind of collection purposes, leave a comment down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And also, if you guys want to speak to me or talk to me on a personal level, my email will be down below as well. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, bye.